Good morning. It is a joy to see you all this morning and to serve as worship associate. Thank you for this service. My name is Linda Krenicki, pronouns she, her. If a visual description is helpful, I am short in stature, short blonde hair. Today I'm wearing this beautiful worship associate stole sewn by our very own Heidi Gould. Well, as I arrived this morning, clutching my flowers, I felt myself breathing deeply, relaxing my shoulders and jaw, and a sense of calm fell over me. It's been a long week, filled with the fears of our world. And approaching the building, I felt the warmth of coming home, of the promise of loving acceptance awaiting me, buoying my heart, and filling me with hope. And an extra dose of things that bring me joy is that our flowers will be joined together to create a gorgeous basket, and that's taking place as we speak. And it will be a gorgeous basket, but you know, if it was filled with weeds, which are often beautiful, the whole thing would still be beautiful, you know, if it had dandelions and that kind of thing. Because it's a product of us sharing what we have, and it becomes joined together. Well, I come here every week for the fix that allows me to carry on. And I am never disappointed. And I thank you all for being part of that. Today, Michelle, lovely barista Michelle, is going to light the chalice. We're going to have a unison chalice lighting today. And there the words are, so let's all say it together as we're welcoming each other. Come into this place with your whole self, the parts that are raw and exposed, the part that is beaming with joy, the part that is seeking the truth, the new, the possibility. Come into this place, open your heart, lay down your burden, lift up your hope for something new to happen. Thank you. Yeah. And let's say, yes, go ahead. She gets it the first time. Let's say together the words of our mission, which declare our shared purpose. Empowered by love, we transform ourselves and serve our world. Thank you.
Happy Flower Communion Sunday, everyone. I'm so glad to see all of your beautiful faces out there. My name is Jen Youngsun Rue, and I am serving as your minister. But before we go on, I have a very special person to introduce to you. I can't wait any longer to introduce to you Elias Poor. Elias will be our second minister, starting starting on August the 1st. We have to wait a little bit, so we got to practice our patience. Eli is going to manage our religious exploration program, supervising all of our wonderful teachers and helping our entire congregation to deepen in faith. Eli Poor.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad to be with you. Good to see all of your faces, and thank you, Reverend Jen, for the welcome. So my name is Elias Oak-Poor, and I use either they or he pronouns. Elias or Eli is totally fine. And I'm so glad I'm going to be joining you officially on August the 1st. I truly cannot wait. So before anything else, I want to thank Reverend Jen and Reverend Dennis and the search team, Emily, Jones, Michael, and Phyllis, who were all so thoughtful and deeply conscientious every step of the way. I felt really held by this congregation before I even arrived, and that's kind of everything. I also know that you all have been through a loss recently, and I'm stepping into this with care for that, with respect for that, and looking forward to building this beloved community with you all. So I've spent the last couple of years in Southern Oregon. I completed my internship at the Southern Oregon UU Partnership in Ashland, Grants Pass, and Klamath Falls, and I've recently served as the contract minister in Roseburg for this church year. So I've gotten pretty good at finding my way into new communities and also at spending a whole lot of time in the car. So I'm a graduate from Starr King School for the Ministry. I completed my MDiv and a Master of Arts in Religious Leadership for Social Change there, and I'm completing a doctoral program at Pacific School of Religion as well. But the learning that shaped me the most, the things that shaped me the most didn't happen in a classroom. They happened in communities like this one. So I first found Unitarian Universalism as a queer, gender nonconforming punk teenager in the conservative Texas Panhandle, which in that context was a really big deal. It was the first place that I could really be myself. And I've come back to that over and over again throughout my life. I love Unitarian Universalism. I love our communities and really look forward to what we're able to build together. So that experience of being welcomed when you're on the outside never really left me. I've spent a lot of years doing organizing work alongside unhoused communities and communities navigating carceral systems and folks in recovery. And those folks that are so often invisible to institutions and sometimes in particular ways to religious institutions as well. And so that work is personal also. I've lived some of those edges myself. I know what it means when a community shows up and says, you belong here, we love you, full stop. And so that's the kind of community I want to build alongside you. Intentionally multicultural, class inclusive, accessible, and more than just the building. Truly multi-generational. Because when all of us are actually in the same room together, something happens that can't really happen any other way. Our diversity is our strength, and it's where the real meaning making and the good stuff lives. So I'm looking forward to joining you here August 1st. Thank you so much for welcoming me to your community. I'm looking forward to the conversations, to the coffee, and to getting to know one another. So thank you. Good to be with you today.
In the name of all that is holy and good, we gather once again to practice hope, to practice love, and to practice forgiveness. Once again, the earth, she beckons us asks us to listen to her ageless wisdom. Every year, no matter how bleak the winter, she gives us flowers in the spring. May we receive these gifts that we might remember our place in the family of things, remembering that we are connected by invisible relationships and that living in community with all of its complexities is how we were meant to live. Let the spirit of creative possibility unite us as it lives among us. Come, let us worship together. Oh, and they're coming with the flowers. The children and the youth are coming with the flowers. Thank you so much. Yay. You can put them right here, and some wonderful members of our congregation also made fabric and yarn and felt flowers for those who have allergies. Oh, that's gorgeous. Thank you. Do you want to come down here and join me for a little conversation? Thank you. So, just over 100 years ago, which is a long, long time ago, right? Maybe 101 years ago, Norbert and Maya Čapek were leaders of a Unitarian church in a country then called Czechoslovakia. Now, this church building was quite plain. They had no piano, no organ, no candles, no chalice. They didn't even have coffee or cookies. And they definitely didn't have any flowers. That just wasn't a thing that was done back then. Well, springtime had come to the city of Prague, and it was so beautiful. And Norbert and Maya went out for a walk, and it had just rained, and the birds were singing, and the flowers were blooming all over the place. The world was spectacular and beautiful. And so they had this idea. They said, well, why don't we ask the people of the church to come next Sunday and bring a flower? And that's what they did. But the people got all concerned. They said, well, what kind of flower should we bring? What size? What color? And they were all very concerned. And the Čapek said, don't worry, just bring anything. Bring anything from your garden or from the roadside or something that is growing from a little crack in the sidewalk. You can bring anything that you want. And so the following Sunday, everybody came, and everybody brought a flower. They were all different colors and sizes and shapes. There were lilies and asters and pansies and daisies, and the flowers filled the space. Reverend Čapek spoke to the people, and they said, and here's what he said. He said, these flowers are like ourselves, different colors, different sizes, different shapes, different minds, all needing different kinds of care, but each one is beautiful and important and very, very special. At the end of the worship service, the people chose a different flower from the one they brought, and they took it home with them. This was such a popular celebration that they did it every single year. Later, when war came to the land, and the people were full of fear, this ritual of flower communion became more important to the congregation. Today, in the modern day, thousands and thousands of Unitarian Universalists all over the world, actually, observe Flower Communion Sunday, or some people call it the Flower Festival. And this is a celebration of our community and all of the beautiful individual people like you that make up this community. I thank you so much for bringing up the flowers. I think you all are going to do some flower-related fun things. So if you will follow your teachers, and we'll sing you out. If you don't want to go under the bridge, you can go along the sides. And if today's your first time with us, would you please bring a grown-up with you? Thank you.
To the work of justice as you go your way in peace, as you go your way in peace.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marilyn Milne. She, her pronouns. I am short with curly hair and the lingering sound effects of what was a bad cold. I'm wearing blue jeans and a jacket. I'm very honored to have been able to serve as the chair of the Community Offering Committee for some time now, and I'm here today to share some very wonderful news. This month is the 20th anniversary of the launch of the Community Offering Program. In 2006, our then minister, Reverend Carolyn Colbert, introduced the concept to us. She said it would help us practice generosity, support organizations aligned with our mission, and educate us on groups that we could get involved with. In 2006, just like now, our church needed money. We had many fewer members, and that translated into a much smaller budget. We were on the struggle bus every year to fulfill it. And suddenly, we were supposed to practice generosity too? In my overly optimistic way, I thought, this will never work. Well, the joke's on me, because in these 20 years, we have raised and given away 300, yes. More than 1/3 of $1 million to organizations doing good work. Our first recipient was Birth to Three, which is now rebranded as Parenting Now. In the past, we gave to some groups more than once. Now we limit that so we can support many, many groups. You can see the entire list on our church website, uugene.org. Click on the Justice tab and you'll find the Community Offerings section. If you have suggestions for recipients, let us know so we can consider them. We started by giving our entire offering on the third Sunday of the month, 20 years ago today. During the pandemic, when church was remote, for about a year, we gave it all to the community offering. Then we shifted to giving the first 2 Sundays to the community offering, and now, as you know, we split the first 4 Sundays 50-50 with the general fund. And thank you for following that bouncing ball. It turns out Carolyn Colbert was right when she said that it helps to practice generosity, because we have vastly grown our membership and our budget has at least doubled. In addition, one of the 5 strategic priorities in the 2025-28 strategic plan is to strengthen community partnerships to improve community engagement. And we are seeking ways to deepen our relationships with our offering recipients. Recently, Rev. Jen said that these donations are truly spiritual acts of the heart. I know that's true for me. My thinking has been affected by this program, causing me to lead more often now with openness and generosity, whether that shows up as cold hard cash or blessing the basket as it passes, or as kindness and caring. Still a work in progress, but my heart is better for this practice. I'd like to acknowledge the community members, both past and present, who make this project work. So will anyone who's ever been a committee member please stand or wave a hand? Thank you. Many of us currently on the committee will be working in the kitchen after the service, having set up the coffee and snacks beforehand and now serving and cleaning up. It's one of our ways of showing appreciation for this community's trust in our work, as well as your support for the many nonprofits UUCE has worked with for the last 20 years. Onward.
I want to invite you into a short metta. Metta is a loving kindness prayer. And if you want to, you can just kind of move your arms as you feel the energy moving around you. May I be at peace. May I be at peace. May my heart remain open. May my heart remain open. May I awaken to the light of my own true nature. May I awaken to the light of my true nature. May I be healed. May I be healed. And may I be a source of healing for all beings. May I be a source of healing for all beings. For all of the joys and sorrows expressed here today in the careful handling of the stones and water and in the written expressions, and also for all the joys and sorrows that remain in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. May we know that these prayers have been heard. May we know that they are handled with care. Amen.
I have a really beautiful poem to read called Beginners by Denise Levertov. But we have only begun to love the earth. We have only begun to imagine the fullness of life. How could we tire of hope? So much is in bud. How can desire fail? We have only begun to imagine justice and mercy, only begun to envision how it might be to live as siblings with beast and flower, not as oppressors. Surely our river cannot be already hastening into the sea of non-being. Surely it cannot drag in the silt all that is innocent. Not yet, not yet. There is too much broken that must be mended, too much hurt we have done to each other that cannot yet be forgiven. We have only begun to know the power that is in us if we would join our solitudes in the communion of struggle. So much is unfolding that must complete its gesture. So much is in bud.
How could we tire of hope? So much is in bud. Especially in this neighborhood. Izzy and I took a break from our office work yesterday, and we took a long walk around these streets. It took nearly an hour because we kept stopping at all of the blooms. It reminded me of one of my very favorite poems by June Jordan, where she writes a letter of complaint to the city, saying, I have encountered a regular profusion of a certain unidentified rose, growing to no discernible purpose and according to no perceptible control, approximately 1/4 mile west of the Northway on the southern side. To be specific, there are practically thousands of the aforementioned abiding in perpetual near riot of wild behavior, indiscriminate coloring, and God only knows if we can say what a diverse soliciting of promiscuous cross-fertilization is happening. You know, that very same promiscuous cross-fertilization brought an explosion of life to this very earth, and it is the only reason that we are here right now. 200 million years ago, there was life on this planet, but it was mostly green, ferns and conifer trees and whatnot. For a long time, there were no flowers at all, and there were no warm-blooded creatures. Flowers changed everything. With the fruit and the seed came sugar, energy, boom. Michael Pollan, who writes about plants and things, says that with flowers, whole new levels of complexity came into the world. More interdependence, more information, more communication, more experimentation. Now, as food foragers, humans learned that flowers were the early beacons for the fruit, the food that was to come. But these days, we cultivate flowers just because we like having them around. I don't know, there's something about beholding this magnificent bouquet that quickens the heart. No wonder the church leaders of old prohibited the display of flowers. Too much sex, right? Flowers demanded too much of our affection, attention, and adoration. They could distract worshipers from the true object of their devotion and lure them back to dangerous pagan rituals. Long live pagan rituals. Pollan points out that when we look deeply into a flower, we can see the contending energies of both creation and dissolution. We can see the rising of life and at the same time, the waning of life. So much is in bud. And at the same time, we know that the flower will bloom and droop and wilt and die. And so it goes for all of us. Aren't we all contending with the energies of creation and dissolution at the same time? So much is in bud, not just with the plant people, but with us humans as well. I see it in you, emerging from a long winter of the soul. I see it in me, emerging from an unsteady winter of grief. I see it in our community of communities, the buds of ideas opening into reality. I see it in our neighbors gathering in solidarity, singing in resistance. Little by little, the people of this nation are finally waking up, opening their minds to the truth that the only way that we are going to survive is to live as siblings and not as oppressors. We are learning how to join our solitudes in the communion of struggle. And we are learning how to love expansively, just as the earth loves us. Is it possible for the rose to say, I will give my fragrance and beauty to the good people only, but withhold it from the bad? The Persian mystic said, even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights up the whole sky. How could we tire of hope? So much is in bud, least of all our hearts. All of our hearts are in bud, ready to explode in bouquets of love for one another. May this be ever so. Blessed be. Amen. Well, I guess we'll, yeah, there we go. Not the light of truth, or the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now let us give thanks for this bouquet of people who brighten our lives, each in their own way. We need each and every one of you to make this bouquet, and we need each other to create this beloved community. As Suzanne plays another joyful song, please come forward and take a flower. Take it home with you. Keep it in a visible place all week and send a blessing to the person who brought the flower to service today. Even though you don't know who that person is, you know, you can imagine what they might need and the prayers that they might need. Send them peace, send them love, send them hope. We have plenty of flowers, so please do come forward and take one.